What's going on, everybody? Welcome to EdgeWorks Knife Studio. I'm going to do the FSK stuff today. Also, just real quick, I didn't do the intro video because I realize how confusing it is to some to keep that in there, especially with the name change. Working on like a new logo, and I'm going to do a new intro video for the videos and stuff like that. So I'm just going to leave it out for at least today. Hopefully have it done by Wednesday. But anyway, but today we're going to do the FSK little progression there. So I'm not going to use the FSK 400 because this knife doesn't need it. This is going to be the Nakamura Hamono Bunka, 165 millimeter Bunka, but it's in HAP40. So I'm going to go ahead and do, because I don't have the 1000 FSK on hand at the moment, hope to rectify that at some point soon. But I'm going to do the HK KnifeWorks 1000 and 3000. 1000's up first, so it's on the bench. Anyway, 1000, 3000, then I'm going to jump to 8000 on the FSK. And I'm going to jump to 12,000 after the 8,000. I'm going to take microscope shots of the bevel. And right now I'll pop up what it looks like before I get started. And then we can follow the progression. So after the 1K, I'll do one, and then I'll pop it up, etc., etc., etc. So, but yeah, so I'll give you a little shot over here in the GoPro. Again, this is the Nakamura Hamono. Now there's several Nakamura Hamonos. This is not the Oita prefecture. This is gosh, it's a different one. I'll have to put it up on the screen. I can't believe I forgot that already. Anyway, it's the other one. This came from Michael at knifejapan.com. Excellent, excellent place to get Japanese knives, guys. If you are wanting some, this was actually like 130 bucks, 140 bucks, something like that. And that's shipped to my door from Japan. Excellent stuff. He has a pretty good selection of things to choose from. This is not the same knife I was going to do the other day whenever I ran out of time, but that one was a Koatsu. But this guy actually needs a little tune-up. I've been using the crap out of it because it's a really good knife. So we'll just get started on it today. Other than that, I hope you guys have had a great weekend. It's been a little hot over on this side, so we'll get right into the point there. Yeah, it's been hot. Tomorrow starts the week, the final week before getting back into school. It's crunch time, baby. Okay. Let me make sure that my microphone doesn't die here. Good news. I did not almost sever any kind of limb or anything this weekend. I actually have basically made it, so. So on this HK KnifeWorks, the 1000 grip, I'm going to give it, at first I'm going to give it a few passes. I'm going to double check and make sure how my bevel looks, make sure it looks like I want it to, staying uniform with the way I want this knife to perform, and then we'll go on our merry way. So as usual, we'll listen to this. It's been a while since I've done the HK KnifeWorks 1000, so we'll see. We'll see how she sounds, but stupid quiet. Because I'm working with diamonds, I'm going to check it a lot sooner. I have and I'm going to say this wrong. I'm assuming I'll say it wrong. It's Meglio, Meglio, Meglio knives, Kuritsuke in MagnaCut, courtesy of Adam Hausner, who is a viewer who wants me to sharpen it and prove that I can do it without using diamonds. So that's going to be fun. It shipped supposedly this weekend, he said. I'm assuming it'll probably be here by Wednesday. So I'm hoping, so that way Wednesday's video can be that. It's a really cool looking knife. I'm just double checking this again. The heel on this one is one of the ones that we've talked about before, where it wasn't exactly... Oh, it's Miyazaki Prefecture. Nakamura Hamono Miyazaki Prefecture. Anyway, where the heel wasn't exactly lined up properly, and after a few sharpenings it will. So I'm not going to focus on this little bitty spot back here. I'll see if I can show you. It is just slightly... No, you're not going to be able to see it unless it's like a black background. But anyway, what it basically does is it's a perfect edge, but it looks like maybe it just kind of got snagged a little on maybe either a belt or a wheel or whatever, and it just kind of curves slightly back, like the smallest amount. I would say probably 2 more sharpenings it'll be fine, because right now I can see the bevel line and it goes right to that spot and literally tilts just slightly. And that's, yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to focus on that, but it does feel like I've already got a burr, a very slight burr all the way through here, and I'm just doing the preliminary checking and whatnot. So with this, with the HK, it's, I don't know if any of you have ever used the Nakamura 1000 grit resin bonded diamond. It kind of has, or kind of reminds me of how that one feels. It's really smooth, but the Nakamura kind of has a little bit smoother profile, but also at the same time a little grittier, which it's like I'm contradiction in terms, right? But it's super smooth, but just has that kind of like mini speed bumps, which are probably like the diamonds or something. This, you can hear kind of, it'd be like if you were running over sand, just small fine particles of sand. That's what it sounds like, and you might even be able to pick it up on the microphone. But as I'm running over it, you can hear that. But other than that, the feel is like glass. It's like a good type of glass feel. Super smooth, super like even. You know, the feedback's really good, especially for a diamond stone. So yeah, I like the way the HK feels, that's for sure. The FSK 1000 that was Matt's, also a great stone, but it felt more like it was pulling metal off, if that makes sense. In a good way, not in like a, oh man, this doesn't feel good, but like you could tell that thing was, you know, getting after some metal. This, you can tell it's doing it by the metal on the stone, but it doesn't feel like it's dragging the metal off. So yeah, I'm good there. I should be able to go ahead and flip to the other side now. I mean, that was light work. And as we know, HAP40 is not the hardest steel in the world to sharpen. Diamonds make short work of everything. But HAP40 you can sharpen on like Nanawas or Kings or whatever. I've done it. So this one is 66 to 67 HRC. So it's plenty hard, but it's the carbides and vanadium and stuff like that. So HAP40 again is just not the hardest thing to sharpen. There can be some, because there are some out there that even Adonma's mentioned. There was a guy that's had some that was heat treated at 70, which that's insane, by the way. I bet that's probably also really chippy. But yeah, it's just not a hard steel to sharpen. I'd actually like to get my hands on the 70 HRC one just to see, like, if I could do it on a King or something. Maybe not a King, but like something else, like a Chocera, maybe. Let me check that. That looks good. Same thing with the heel. I'm not worried about that. We've already flipped the burr. So I know certain parts of the country have started school at different times. Have any of you guys kids or, you know, relatives or whatever, kids have already started school? I'm curious to know like where we sit on the whole back to school thing. Illinois is just kind of jacked up anyway. Okay. Feels good, feels good. Wipe it off, just double check. When you're dealing with diamonds, it's always good to make certain that you don't get in there too hard and heavy, and then, because like you can you can wreck stuff in a hot hurry. So beautiful, even bevel the whole way through. All the way to the tip, even is completely even. It matches this side, so some long strokes here and a couple more of the focused strokes, and we'll be ready to well, I won't even deburr, I'll just move to the 3000. These HKs are great stones too. It's unfortunate that the tariffs have pretty much all but wiped them out of existence. I don't know if they're gonna like get back to it or what they're gonna do, but I haven't seen them in stock really on their site since the tariff announcement. I'm gonna do real quick edge leading to just a super fast little deburr just for the picture. I'm going to jump over to the microscope, which I brought in here just for this purpose. Because Lord knows I'd forget to do it otherwise. So remember, the first picture, guys, is the starting point. Second picture, which I'll put it up and I'll announce it. So interesting. Need to raise that up just a smidgen. Just there we go. I had it kind of zeroed in, but I needed to change it real quick because I didn't like the angle. I'm picky. I'm picky. Now I feel like I'm not getting enough light. Of course. I mean, why would it be easy, right, guys? Okay. So for those that listen, I'll go ahead and say that look now and check out the 1K bevel. Swap it out now for our 3K. Not going to try and speed this along, but I will try not to dilly-dally here. I mean, we're dealing with diamonds, so this isn't going to take long anyway. Meow. The kitty wants a little attention, I guess. All right, our HK knife works. Oh, and I didn't flatten any of these because I didn't need it, but I cleaned every one of them, the FSK, the HK. I cleaned them all with my little Cheefarcuut little guy there. And then I got a silicon carbide stone that I ran over the surface of them just to make sure that it was all good and all the gunk was pulled out. The FSKs were kind of loaded up a little bit. So, man, this is the same thing I've felt before with this 3K. This thing is draggy. This, yeah. It feels like it cuts significantly more than the 1K. So much so that I'm stopping to check the bevel. It's almost alarming with how much it feels like it cuts. You know, I'm like worried that I'm doing something wrong, and I don't know why. I mean, I know I'm not, but let's listen. I mean, it's louder. It's not loud, it's just louder. Yeah, just like that. I mean, it's good. I'm gonna give it some long strokes. I'm gonna flip it over. I mean, look at all the metal. That's taken off like a ton of metal in just that brief amount of time. I don't think I took off that much with the 1K. And you know what? Let me just make sure I'm not screwing up here. Yeah, see? That's the 1000. So, I don't know. It's always been that way with this one since I've been testing and playing with it. It just feels like it takes off significantly more metal and it's significantly rougher. I mean, you can hear the bumps. Yeah, it just wigs me out. And that burr. That burr is significantly bigger than the 1K burr. And I use the exact same amount of pressure, which is very minimal. It's more like a guiding kind of pressure. But yeah, I mean, it's good to go. It just wigs me out, you know. One more little, just quick little thing here. Because see, I don't know if maybe it's the matrix with this stone. Maybe the abrasives are different or the binder's different. That I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. Adama, maybe you could chime in for me, buddy. Let me know if the abrasives content is different or the binder, I mean, is different. Yeah, it just feels like it cuts a whole lot more. Yeah, see this. You know, I've explained chalky feel before, and I kind of like that with the King chalky feel. But this feels like I'm actually cutting a piece of soft chalk. Weird. So weird. And not, I'm making these remarks and it kind of maybe almost sounds like I'm kind of like dumping on it a little bit, and I'm not. Because it's not a bad thing. It's just weird. Not what you would expect. You would expect moving from a 1K to a 3K, you'd expect a difference in smoothness, maybe more smooth and quieter, glassier. Not the other way around. I do apologize, guys, for not putting the link up to the website for the FSKs on the last video. I did answer it in the comments, and then I added it later in the pinned comment, but I didn't even think about it. And the reason I didn't think about it is because of the wait list. But that's totally on me. I should have put that up there, so I will today. The pinned comment will indeed contain the link to, I believe it's Miura. I don't know how to say it for sure, but their website. You can get yourself on a waiting list for the FSKs. You know, and Dama was telling me that maybe if we got enough people that wanted to buy and could get a good enough order, we might be able to get 120 grit FSK. Could you imagine how that thing would cut? That would like help you cut the fabric of time for sure. Okay, I think we're good here. The tip needed a little work, but I think I'm okay. I'm gonna do a couple real quick long strokes. But yeah, 120. Man, an FSK 120, and you would, nothing could stop you. You could sharpen adamantium. Come on, Wolverine. Okay. All right, I'm just going to take off the burr a little bit. Super light pressure. Just enough. Now we're moving up to FSK territory, baby. We're going to jump to our FSK 8000. We're going to give it a nice little shine. I'm going to take a picture of this real quick. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, putting her on the old microscope. I need to get me a better one of these to take better pictures, but you know, for right now it does okay. I don't know, that kind of looks rougher. Like, I mean, you'll be the judge for yourself. I think, for those again that are listening, look right now, and to me, that looks like that's a little rougher than the 1K. So I don't know. I do not know, guys. And just for proof, there you go. 3,000. All right. And now for something completely different. Those of you that are old school like me, you know what that is. Okay. Let's get her kicked in there. Lined up, straightened up. That's more for my OCD. Nice and clean. Now let's take a listen, huh? Now we should be what I would expect in a higher progression as opposed to that weird situation with the 3K. Come on, fingers. They're kind of crampy. I'm getting carpal tunnel. Yeah, see? See, that sounds proper, as I would have expected with moving up. Oh yeah. She glistens in the dark. It's not really dark, but you know. Try to sound all mysterious. I did give you guys that one, the Cheefarcuut strop. I gave your addresses to them. They will be getting that out to you this week. I believe they said it's going to come from the Amazon warehouses, so it shouldn't take any time at all. Just FYI. I'm trying to get them to next do a couple of stone giveaway for their 1000 or their dual grit, maybe at least. We'll see. But I think that'd be so cool. I believe they're getting really close to the launch of the Kickstarter. Like shipping the units, I mean. It's already launched. I'm hoping that my unit, my sharpening system will be here this week also, maybe the next couple of days, because that was supposed to ship out Saturday as well. It'd be fun to demonstrate. It does have some limitations. Well, the model before the one I'm getting had some limitations with blade size. It was kind of geared more towards kitchen knives instead of pocket knives. There were some adapters that could be potentially added, I believe. but at the time it had like a blade height limitation and things like that of what would be efficient and what would work proper. I think we're good. I'm gonna do some long strokes here. Just standard, normal sharpening pressure here. I'm just guiding it, making sure. This stone, you know, this 8K, the way that it feels, how many of you have used the 5K, I'm sorry, the 8K Shaps and Glass? Because that is very much what this feels like. It has just that super glide. It's a glide of confidence, if that's a good way to say it. I'm very confident in my ability running on this 8K. I don't think, well, I mean, I can't. I feel like I can't make a mistake. Like I'm going to be able to hold my angle, you know, and then I'm going to know immediately if I'm off or if something happens or if something like weird changes or shifts. Like right there, I felt something, and I don't know if it's burr or whatever, but I felt it and was able to stop, and I'll just address it. You know, kind of clean off this backside a little bit here, and then resume. If I dip my angle, I know it. Like this stone just gives you confidence. It feels amazing. It has that slight bit of a resistance. At the same time, it also glides. So that resistance is letting you know you're cutting. You're not just polishing, you're actually cutting a little bit. But yeah, you got that glide that just, like almost like it's on rails. That's a good way to say it. You can kind of hear it, how it sounds like it's on glass. Super tiny little burr, which is expected on an 8K. You know, that's something to kind of point out too, though. Typical ceramic stones, right? We know what to expect from the behavior of those. We know what we're getting into. We know, you know, burr sizes and things like that. Because I've said it, you know, what, millions of times. Whenever you're getting into higher grit stones, your burr, it can be made huge, but for the most part, if you follow your same progression, your burr isn't as big as it would be on like a 400 or a 1000, right? With diamonds, though, if you go and you get like a standard plated diamond stone, and it's like, you know, 1000 or, you know, they got the 2000 ones or whatever. I don't know about you, but I've noticed that those burrs can be quite significant, and that's because of the abrasive and how aggressive it is, etc. So sometimes with diamond stones, you would think that that's going to be the case with the burr on a higher grit. Not with this one. This follows pretty much standard stone protocol, so to speak. Not protocol, but you know what I'm trying to say. Words sometimes escape me, and I apologize. So we've maintained this bevel. It looks beautiful. I've got great burr action, so I'm going to go ahead real fast. I'm going to edge leading this, a couple of strokey dokes. Take a little peek-cha. And then we'll go to our final stone. Then we'll cut test it. And maybe I'll cut that space-time continuum and warp myself into this coming up weekend. Okay. Let's move it on over. Let's snap a little photo. Yeah, see, that looks better. That looks more like what I'm expecting whenever you go up a level. Obviously, it's more than a level, but you know what I mean. When you're going up in progression and grit. So we'll go ahead and take off the 8K. And now for our 12. Dun, 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 dun. Well, we're moving actually right along too. I thought that was taking a whole lot longer than it was. I'll be. Just, well, that should prove how fast and efficient these stones are too. As well as me, you know. I'm pretty good at this. By the way, look up here. That is the edge. In case I didn't say it already, I'll say it again. If I said it already once when I'm editing it, I will not probably post it up right there. Okay, 12K, our final boss. Microphone's still working, so I don't have to redo anything. That makes me feel good. So you can hear a difference, and this, okay, that's kind of weird because we're talking about the 3K over here with the HK, and how that was weird. I do remember the other day when we talked about this 12K that I told you there was a texture difference and a little bit of a feel difference with the 12K versus the 8K. That's still the same. That has not changed. The difference between the 3K and this 12K though is, I believe, this still feels as if it is a 12K cutter, where the 3K to me felt like it was a 1K, or should have been, if that makes sense. It cut what I felt was below its grit range. And you be the judge from that scratch pattern. Yes, there's significantly more noise with this 12K. I'm just resting my fingers again on the knife. I'm not giving any extra pressure here. It does have that, like I was talking about, the rocky road kind of the sound. You can hear it kind of going over abrasives, which I kind of expect that from resin or vitrified bonded diamond stones. Looking at my bevel and jamming it into my drill press. God, that looks good. It looks like I did not screw it up when I just did that. I jammed it right into the freaking bottom of my drill press table. Thank God it's wood. Boy, it sure does glisten. I don't think you'll be able to pick that up, but if you look at the super tiny bevel, yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. Number one, it's because that bevel is just so tiny. That's fine though. But it glistens, like the light just reflects right off of it. Let me just make sure too. I do have a difference. No, it's just so small. I thought maybe the tip wasn't as good. But that was not, it's just small. Kind of as expected too, as you use this. I don't know if you heard it quieten a little bit there. It wasn't as loud on those passes as it was the initial passes. So I wonder too if that didn't have something to do with me using the cleaning stone, and maybe if that roughed it up a little bit, because I also cleaned it the other day when we did this using that same 220 grit stone. So And that is what they include with it, by the way. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and do some long strokes, so we'll move to the other side. When we do that, then we'll deburr and we'll test her. Okay. She feels wicked good. Dry my hand off. I'm kind of excited about that, well, not kind of, I am, about the Meglio, or again, I'll butcher every name. You know, I'm excited though. I'm excited for not only for the challenge, but it's a really cool looking knife. Magna Cut. I love me some Magna Cut. I wanted to go slow because I wanted to take the burr off and just make sure I didn't like gouge. Oop. I sound like I hit a diamond. That's just how thin that edge is too. Like, one of the things I love about HAP40 and ZDP and all those kinds of steels is you can run nice thin edges. As long as they're heat treated right. Yeah, it's a good burr, pretty uniform. Just double checking the actual size the whole way through, making sure we're still even. I'm gonna go ahead and give it some long strokes, maybe a couple more of the little focused short strokes. So we'll start with those. I just about sliced myself. Yeah, it's hushed up quite a bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Which, by the way, I checked the, you know, the analytics and stuff, and there's no ladies. It's just those guys, I guess. All right, couple little edge leading strizooks. I know Greg says never to do this, but I've not ran into it. And again, he wasn't using diamonds. But he always said don't deburr like this on anything higher than 8K. I'm not quite sure why. I said that last time. Don't know. So before I do anything, I'm going to take a picture of the edge. Bring you guys back on up. Achha. Wipe her down. Ooh, I think I just cut that towel. I think she's sharp, guys. Let's get our photo. It'd be funny if there wasn't a SD card in here, wouldn't there? Let's get our 12K edge. Okay. It's not exactly what you'd think. That's the weird part. All right, I got an old piece over here that I was messing with some straight razors with. Let's just go ahead and use it to listen real quickly. So there's a burr on there for show. Yeah, let me get rid of that. Let me look. Where's my microscope? My little, there he is. I couldn't find my little Carson Micro Bright, huh? I'm just curious how bad that burr is. Oh gosh. I see why. It's because it's chunked. It's in little chunk spots. Let's do... Which one do we want to use? I know which one I want to use. We might as well go with the Cheefarcuut, huh? Alright. Let's get rid of this here buh. I'm going to use the rough side. You're not really going to be able to see me, but that's fine. I'm just going to do a couple of quick strokes here. I'm going to hit it on the smooth side too. Just making sure. Alright, smooth side. Oof. Well, I carried over something. Ooh. I think I just cut the strop. Alright, that's enough. Let me wipe it off. Now, we should be good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Wonder if I should take a picture of it after stropping. Not that I think it matters. Let me grab another piece there that wasn't one of the ones. Do a little poosh. Get rid of that little guy there. Alright, a little push cut there. Yeah, so I mean you can hear it's clean. Which is, again, that's what we're doing. Listen to how quiet it is. See if it has any snags. That's what the paper's for. Yeah, it's all the way from the back to the front. Nothing. No, nothing. Whew. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to grab a paper towel. I haven't done that in a hot minute. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, I mean, she's a cutter. So yeah, I kind of like got a little teary there, so it's very possible there's still some burr on there that I need to take care of. What I would actually do is, ooh, I sliced off that piece of paper towel. That's pretty good, actually. I would probably use my Agenda Industries NanoCloth with the poly diamond emulsion. Yeah, I mean that's cutting up some serious paper towel. Yeah, and it's super bitey. I can't say a 12K edge is something that I would normally use in the kitchen, but I mean I would at this point, you know. But as long as it cuts my vegetables and stuff, that's fine. Honestly, what I'll do too is I want to do a kind of an endurance thing. So I'll keep a record of how many times I use this knife, and I'll just put it in my little notebook, because I test a lot of different things, as I'm sure you guys have probably figured out. And I'll write down every time I use it and what I use it for and what I use it on, right? Because I've got a cedar wood cutting board. I've got a butcher block end grain board that I made, and a few other things. So I'll write those down, what I use them for and how long, and test it in like a month or two, and just to kind of see how long this 12K edge held up, and then also report with how well I felt it did on things like tomatoes with tough skin, you know, and stuff like that. So anyway, There we go, guys. The 12K, 8K, FSK. That's a lot of Ks. And the HK KnifeWorks 1 and 3K. Again, it's weird about the 3K. I almost feel, and I may do it over, I don't know, but I almost feel that I should have eliminated the 3K the moment I felt how rough it was. I feel like it went backwards, and that's just honest opinion. So I may do some testing on that just to see, because I do feel that, especially looking at the scratch pattern, looking at the 1K and then looking at the 3K, feeling the 1K and feeling the 3K, I do feel like it went in reverse. I do feel like I went backwards as far as the edge goes. That's just right now on that small amount that I used it. So I'm going to do some testing probably after this video, and I'm going to do, you know, just different knives and just do the 1K, 3K and do some cut tests, you know, after 1K and then do 3K, and I'll let you guys know, because I do think something's not right there. I don't know. Maybe it's the steel. Maybe different steel will act different. I don't know. That's why I'll do that, and I'll test and I'll report. And if I get some significant findings, I'll do a video on it so you guys can see it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I thank you for your support. I wouldn't be here without you. I know I say it every time, but I mean it. And I'll never ever forget that. So I appreciate all the support and you guys tuning in. We'll come back Wednesday with some new stuff. Hopefully that MagnaCut Meglio, however you say it, knife. Because I'm really excited to try and sharpen that bad boy. But until then, I'll see you guys then, and I'll update you after I know. Peace.